What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Paddy Pimblett has officially postponed any birthday celebrations as he shifts full focus to the biggest fight of his career. The UFC lightweight contender recently turned 31, but instead of celebrating, Pimblett made it clear that all festivities are on hold until after January 24th, the date he is scheduled to face Justin Gaethje for the interim lightweight title. Speaking directly to fans, Pimblett expressed his appreciation for the overwhelming support and birthday messages he received. He thanked everyone for reaching out and apologized for not being able to respond individually, explaining that the sheer volume of messages made it impossible to reply to everyone personally. Despite the milestone birthday, Pimblett emphasized that this is not the time for distractions. With the high-stakes title fight approaching, his priority remains preparation, discipline, and staying locked in mentally and physically. He made it clear that celebrations can wait, as his sole focus is on delivering a championship-winning performance inside the octagon. Pimblett also revealed that once January 24th has passed, he plans to make up for the delay in a big way. If things go according to plan, he intends to combine his postponed birthday celebration with a world title celebration on the same night, turning the occasion into a double milestone moment. For now, however, everything is on pause. The message was simple and direct. The birthday is postponed, the celebrations are on hold, and all attention is on fight night. With gold on the line and his career at a critical moment, Paddy Pimblett is fully committed to the mission ahead, leaving no room for distractions until the job is done. Before we jump into the next story, we have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying the content, please give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon. It really helps us out and ensures you'll never miss an update. Move on to another news. Anik has made it clear that he has little interest in watching a potential fight between Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler, stating that the matchup does not excite him from a competitive standpoint. While Anik does believe McGregor will eventually return to the octagon, he emphasized that the UFC cannot afford to build its plans around a fighter whose availability has been inconsistent. In recent years, Anik explained that although McGregor would never be placed on a preliminary card, his return alone is not enough to justify the hype surrounding the Chandler matchup. He pointed out that Chandler has repeatedly claimed McGregor's camp has been preparing specifically for his style for years, yet fans have been hearing similar narratives without any real progress toward the fight actually happening. According to Anik, the McGregor vs. Chandler bout does little for him personally, especially in terms of relevance within the lightweight division. While both fighters have publicly stated in interviews that the fight is done and guaranteed, Anik remains unconvinced that it carries meaningful stakes. He suggested that the matchup would likely take place at welterweight rather than lightweight, further reducing its impact on the division's title picture. Despite his lack of enthusiasm for the fight, Anik stressed that he would still welcome McGregor's return to the octagon. He also praised Michael Chandler for consistently representing the United States with pride, noting that Chandler deserves a spot on a high-profile card such as a potential White House event. Ultimately, however, Anik said he would much rather see McGregor in a more significant or emotionally charged matchup. A trilogy fight with Nate Diaz would be far more compelling in his view, as it carries history, rivalry, and genuine fan interest. He added that McGregor facing a different opponent altogether would also be more appealing, as long as the fight carried real consequence and purpose within the sport. Move on to another news. Michael Bisping has weighed in on concerns surrounding Tom Aspinall's eye injuries following comments made by Joe Rogan suggesting the heavyweight champion may never fight again due to potential complication. Drawing from his own painful experience, Bisping said he understands exactly why Rogan would raise those concerns and agreed that eye injuries must be treated with extreme caution. Bisping reminded fans that he personally dealt with serious eye problems during his fighting career and admitted that he returned to competition far too quickly while dealing with similar issues. That decision, he explained, ultimately caused further damage and left him permanently blind in his right eye. Having undergone 5 or 6 eye surgeries himself, Bisping said he has first-hand knowledge of how unpredictable and dangerous eye procedures can be. While Aspinall's surgery may sound relatively minor, such as a tendon realignment, Bisping stressed that complications are always a possibility. He recalled suffering a detached retina during his career, which required multiple surgical repairs and eventually led to glaucoma. Once doctors began operating on the eye, he explained, "It is never quite the same again, regardless of advances in modern medical science." Bisping acknowledged that medical technology has improved significantly over the year, noting that eye injuries once meant the immediate end of a fighter's career. He shared an example of his former coach, an undefeated professional boxer whose career was cut short after a detached retina. While Bisping was able to continue fighting, the long-term damage ultimately cost him his vision. Despite the concerns, Bisping expressed optimism for Aspinall and urged fans to ignore uninformed criticism online. He emphasized that Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the world and is not avoiding competition. According to Bisping, Aspinall is eager to return and has openly stated his desire to face Cyril Gane again. However, Bisping made one thing very clear: eye injuries cannot be rushed. He warned that returning too soon was the biggest mistake of his career, one that permanently altered his life. Aspinall, he said, must take all the time necessary to heal properly. If surgery is required, a lengthy recovery period of several months should be expected, and patience will be essential to protecting both his career and his long-term health. Move on to another news. Shara Bullet Magomedov has made it clear that a rematch with Michael Venom Page is a major goal moving forward. The two fighters met last February, with Page earning a unanimous decision victory, but Shara believes that fight did not reflect his true abilities. Speaking with Red Corner MMA, Shara outlined a clear and methodical plan for his return. He explained that his intention is to come back next year, secure a strong comeback, win against an opponent outside the top 15, and then defeat a ranked contender. Once those steps are completed, he believes a rematch with Page should be inevitable. According to Shara, facing Michael Page again is not just another fight on his list, it is a necessity. He emphasized that he wants the opportunity to prove to fans that the first encounter did not showcase what he is truly capable of inside the cage. In his view, the performance fell far short of his potential, not due to a lack of preparation or skill, but because of health issues that prevented him from competing at his best. Shara admitted that during their initial bout, he was unable to execute his game plan or display the style and effectiveness fans have come to expect from him. As a result, he feels that the outcome left unanswered questions and unfinished business. A rematch, he believes, would allow him to correct those mistakes and deliver the performance he knows he can produce. With his confidence clearly intact, Shara sees the road back to Michael Page as a proving ground, one that starts with rebuilding momentum, climbing the rankings, and earning the right to settle the score. For him, the rematch is about redemption, validation, and showing the MMA world that the first fight was not a true representation of his capabilities. Move on to another news. Jack Della Maddalena recently appeared on a Neon livestream where he shared his thought on several high-profile matchups and outlined what he wants next in his career. During the discussion, Della Maddalena confidently stated that he believes both himself and Islam Makhachev would defeat Ilia Topuria, citing factors such as size, strength, and overall matchup dynamics. When asked how he would approach a potential fight with Ilia, Della Maddalena said he believes he could get the job done, possibly by submission, though he acknowledged that Ilia is a dangerous and powerful striker. He noted that while Ilia has grown physically and looks bigger than before, his punching power and ability to keep fights standing still make him a serious threat. Nonetheless, Della Maddalena believes it would be an exciting matchup that fans clearly want to see. The conversation then shifted to Islam Makhachev, with Della Maddalena giving his honest assessment of what makes Islam so difficult to deal with inside the cage. He pointed to Islam's elite wrestling, top control, and ability to pin opponents to the mat, explaining that once Islam establishes position, it becomes extremely difficult to escape. He admitted that getting stuck underneath Islam was one of the toughest challenges he has faced and suggested that a rematch down the line would be intriguing, though he believes it would likely require another fight first. Looking ahead, Della Maddalena made it clear that his preferred next opponent is Shavkat Rakhmonov. He described the matchup as the perfect fight and emphasized that defeating someone of Rakhmonov's caliber would immediately propel him back into the title picture. In his view, a win over Shavkat would fast-track him to another major opportunity and potentially set up a rematch with Islam. Della Maddalena concluded by saying that fighting Shavkat makes the most sense for his career right now. It is the kind of high-risk, high-reward matchup that could launch him straight back into contention and move him one step closer to his ultimate goal of becoming champion. Move on to another news. Joe Rogan has revealed that he believes Gable Steveson is already a top 5 heavyweight, despite the fact that he has yet to compete in the UFC. Speaking directly to Steveson, Rogan explained that he was immediately impressed after watching one of his MMA fights, where Steveson dropped his opponent with a left hook before taking him down while the opponent was unconscious. Rogan said the performance stood out so much that he sent a message directly to Dana White afterward, emphasizing just how special Steveson's athleticism looked. According to Rogan, the speed Steveson displays at heavyweight is extraordinary, and when that speed is combined with elite-level wrestling, it creates a terrifying matchup for nearly anyone in the division. Rogan went on to explain that the current heavyweight landscape is relatively shallow at the championship level. He listed only a handful of fighters he considers true elite contenders, pointing to names like Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane, and John Jones if he decides to compete again. He added that Francis Ngannou would also belong in that group if circumstances ever allowed for his return to the UFC. Beyond those few fighters, Rogan believes there are very few heavyweights who pose legitimate championship-level threats. What makes Steveson's situation so remarkable, Rogan said, is that he already belongs in that elite category without having officially fought in the UFC. When Rogan watches Steveson move, strike, and transition into takedowns, he struggles to see how most heavyweights could stop him. In his view, only a very small number of fighters on the planet possess the skill set necessary to pose serious problems. Rogan emphasized that the biggest challenge for Steveson may not be his ability, but rather securing fights against the very best competition. He concluded by highlighting just how rare it is to see someone weighing around 250 pounds move with such speed and explosiveness, calling it something almost unheard of at heavyweight, and a major reason why he believes Steveson is already among the best in the world. Move on to another news. Carlos Prates has officially set his sights on a showdown with Jack Della Maddalena and made his intentions public in a clear and confident manner. Prates recently reposted a fight poster featuring himself and Della Maddalena for a potential UFC 327 matchup on his Instagram story, adding eye and phone emojis while tagging the UFC, a move widely interpreted as a direct call-out. When the situation was brought up to Della Maddalena, he welcomed the idea immediately. He acknowledged the call-out and agreed that the matchup would be an exciting and competitive fight. Without hesitation, Della Maddalena expressed his interest, saying he's fully on board and urging UFC President Dana White to make the fight happen. He described the potential bout as a money fight that would deliver excitement for fans. Asked how he believes the fight would play out if it were booked, Della Maddalena admitted that Prates has dangerous striking and has shown significant improvements on the feet. While he initially considered different possible finishes, he ultimately stated that he believes he would be able to finish the fight. However, he made it clear that for a matchup of this level, it would need to be scheduled as a 5-round fight. Della Maddalena emphasized his preference for 5-round bouts, explaining that he enjoyed the challenge and believes they better showcase a fighter's skill, endurance, and heart. He noted that his recent fights have already gone 5 rounds, and that he feels comfortable competing at that pace and duration. The discussion concluded with mutual enthusiasm for the matchup. Della Maddalena reiterated that if the fight is booked, it would be a major event and something fans would love to see. With both fighters openly interested and the call-out already made public, the ball now appears to be in the UFC's court to determine whether this potential clash becomes a reality. Move on to another news. New and troubling details have emerged regarding the fatal car accident involving Anthony Joshua, raising serious concerns about bystander behavior and emergency response failures. Speaking to Mobile Punch, a source revealed that while Joshua was injured and still inside the vehicle, bystanders reportedly stole his mobile phone instead of offering assistance. The incident has sparked strong criticism of the overall handling of emergencies, particularly the lack of urgency and professionalism shown at the scene. According to the account, when help was most urgently needed, Some individuals chose to record videos on their phones rather than provide aid. Even more disturbing were reports that victims were allegedly robbed in the aftermath of the crash, an action described as unacceptable and deeply troubling. The source strongly condemned this behavior, emphasizing that such attitudes must be discouraged at all levels of society. He stressed that accident scenes should be treated with dignity and urgency, not exploited for personal gain or social media attention. The alleged theft of Joshua's phone was cited as a clear example of how far public responsibility has deteriorated in moments of crisis. In addition to criticizing bystanders, the speaker also condemned the government's handling of emergency situations. He called out the delayed response of police and medical services, stating that emergency responders should arrive promptly, secure the area, and ensure injured individuals receive immediate medical attention. Proper crowd control and scene management, he argued, are essential to prevent chaos and protect victims. One of the most distressing images described was Joshua being seen crossing the road median on his own after the accident. According to the source, he should have been immobilized and transported on a stretcher, not left to move under his own power while injured. This moment was described as heartbreaking and symbolic of a broader failure in emergency preparedness and response. Overall, the incident has ignited renewed calls for accountability, better emergency infrastructure, and a cultural shift toward compassion and responsibility when accidents occur.